All right, it's 4 o'clock. Well, welcome, Chef Steve. We're so excited to have you here on our community today. And we're so honored. I know you teach all over the world. So with that, we joined Chef Steve, who brings 25 years of experience as chef and culinary educator with classes from all levels, from kitchen superstars to a novice. So we're so excited to have you here today. Steve, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and welcome. This is going to be a quick little session here. It's about 45 minutes, so we can field as many questions as we can as we're going through this. Today, as you folks have been sent the recipes, hopefully you're going to follow along with us. The intent was for you to follow along with us. Obviously, you don't have to do that. Okay, so. Goi Quan is a Vietnamese spring roll. Many of you have already tried these at Vietnamese restaurants. They are not the fried variety. They are made with fresh rice paper, which we'll make today. We'll have different varieties, and we'll talk about some variations of this as well. We had the opportunity to go to Vietnam a few years ago before all the COVID stuff happened, and we went on a culinary tour out there, and it was great. We went from the south all the way up to the north and visiting markets, sampling different types of regional cuisine, especially in the middle of Vietnam, in the Da Nang area, in the Hue area. Very unique culinary experience. Okay, so today we're making rice paper rolls, okay, also known as spring rolls. And I know in some countries, spring rolls are fried. These are not fried again. These will be all done at room temperature. Okay, our main ingredients today are fresh herbs and lettuce. Okay, we have cilantro. We have Thai basil. And we have mint here as well. And we have a variety of different ingredients for our sauces: sesame oil, rice, vinegar. We have a hoisin sauce here. Depending on time, we'll try to make all 3 varieties of sauces. Okay, so for the first part, let's take a look at our rice papers here. Here's a round variety here of rice paper. Used to have to hunt for these things. Now they sell them at Safeway now here in Northern California, so they're very easy to get. If you look at the paper itself, it has ridges. It kind of may be hard to see in the camera, but it has ridges on it. Okay, that helps you when you're soaking it in water, because when you feel the ridges are gone, the paper is ready to take out and start rolling. It's very fragile, but once it gets into water, it'll be very pliable, easy to use. If when you are rolling this and it tears, no worries. It's kind of like sushi. Just grab another sheet and roll it over the torn sheet. It's not a big deal. Okay, so it's not a big deal. So I'm going to make one first. Let's show you what I have here. We're going to use carrots, celery, as we had in the recipe. I've prepped a lot of these beforehand because of time, but otherwise it's not that difficult to do. Our cucumbers, these are Persian cucumbers. You could also use English cucumbers. And the reason we're using English or Persian because the skins are edible, digestible and edible. I've julienned the carrots, okay? And I just wanted to show you a little julienne thing here. You could use a knife and make matchsticks, but this is my wife found this at a culinary store, and you've probably seen these before. They are like a peeler, but they do julienne. So when I go across with it, it makes these nice juliennes. Okay, so easy to do. Okay, with our little magic little julienne scraper here, peeler, and it makes nice juliennes. Very easy to do, very uniform in size, which is very important too. Very uniform in size. Okay, so let me get that out the way. We're going to use a little red bell pepper, according to our recipe, a little red bell. Okay. Now, the good thing about making these spring rolls is you could use a variety of different ingredients. So don't be shy to try something different. If you don't have something, substitute it. It works very well, very flexible. We're using today a green leaf lettuce. You could use bib lettuce or red leaf. Some lettuce that holds a shape. I like lettuce that has a little texture to it. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? We're gonna, again, we're gonna use a variety of sauces. There's also a rice noodle that goes inside of your spring rolls. If you can see this has been pre-cooked already. So it's very pliable, very easy to use. We're gonna use that as well. So let's start by rolling one. So I have some lukewarm water here. I'm gonna take a round sheet of rice paper. I'm using my hands to feel the ridges on it. When the ridges disappear, when they dissipate, it means that this is pliable and ready to use. If you take it out too early, it's still going to be very rigid and it'll crack when you try to roll it. Okay, so it may take a little practice. Not a big deal. Just feel free to practice a little bit on it. Okay. And again, these are made of 100% rice. Here's a non-GMO variety here that we're going to use as well. We'll see if time we'll try to roll a square one as well. Okay. And then we're going to use some green onions, which I will grab here as part of our addition to it. Okay. So it's coming together now. It's starting to get real pliable. You can see it's starting to get a lot more flexible. Okay, these are very small rice papers. You could find larger round ones that come in a variety of different sizes. Okay, whatever is more easier for you to use. I'm going to take this on a flat surface and spread it out. Maybe a little difficult to see because it is very, very transparent. Okay, I'm going to, for the sake of this, I'm going to make a very small one and let it move from there. Okay. You don't have to use protein if you don't want to. This is shrimp that's been cut half lengthwise, as I mentioned in the recipe. You don't have to do that. You could make a completely vegetarian variety. Some varieties I've seen that are vegetarian are tofu, mushrooms, a variety of different other veggies. I'm gonna take a lettuce leaf here. Now, I have basil, fresh basil, washed and cleaned. I'm gonna use a couple of leaves of fresh Thai basil. I'm gonna use a stalk of cilantro. I wanna keep it whole so it stays together here. Maybe a couple of these guys here, okay? I'm gonna use a little red bell. Okay, a little red bell pepper here, okay? Now, for the first time I'm making this, I wanna make sure I don't put too much of the ingredients in there so I can't actually roll it up. Okay. Excuse me, Lori? Yeah. I'm going to add some noodles to this. And don't worry about perfection. We're trying this out. So we're going to practice this over and over again. And it's all great and all edible. I'm going to put a little carrots in here. Okay. Don't try to fill it up to the max the first time you're doing this. Okay. Because you may be disappointed when it doesn't roll up very well. And that's okay. I mean, we're trying this out. Okay, I'm gonna omit the shrimp on this first one here, just to show you how to get the angle of rolling this. Okay. Now, some chefs will fold the ends in. These are very, very small papers. So I'm not folding the ends in. Okay. I just want to have my creation very easy to eat, and I'm ready to hit it with the dipping sauce. Okay, so I'm going to try a different rice paper here. We're going to try the larger one, so I can go ahead and do one with shrimp in it. These are square guys here. They're easy to use. They're square, and they're a lot easier for beginners to use because they are readily foldable and rollable, as opposed to the round ones. So you may not see these immediately at some stores. You may have to hunt a little bit for them, but they are out there. By the way, here's another one here with white sesame, made with white sesame, okay, and rice, okay. So again, you'll see different varieties. Let that soak for a minute. This is more rigid. It's a lot, I could feel it's a little bit thicker than the round variety. So I am gonna let this soak just a little more. Again, the paper has ridges in it, so I could feel the ridges. When the ridges are gone, I know that it's flexible enough for me to pick up and start rolling. Okay.
Is it necessary to spread it out with your finger rather than just let it
it's okay to let it sit here, but you want it to be completely submerged. Okay, so all parts of the rice paper will begin flexibility at the same time. Okay, so this is almost ready to go. Again, I don't want to keep it in the water too long because it will tear apart. It will fall apart. Okay, so here's a nice flexible sheet here. I'm going to put it in my work area here. Okay, you can see this one is a lot larger, so it's a lot easier to use. I'm going to start with a little lettuce again. Okay, you could tailor your lettuce so it fits into your rolls. And again, be creative. Use different types of lettuce. You may want to try watercress. Okay, you may want to try fresh spinach leaves. Here's some carrots in here. Okay. And then a little red bell, of course. This time I'm going to use the spring onions as well as the shrimp in this particular spring roll here. A little bit more noodles in here. Okay. Now, usually traditionally what they do with the shrimp is they lay these halved shrimp, as I mentioned, they're cut in half lengthwise. Okay. I'm going to put the open end up so it'll be very nice for a presentation when you see the actual half shrimp in the roll. Okay, so you can see how I'm laying those out. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, I'm gonna start rolling this guy here. Let me add some of my fragrant herbs here. I love to use the stems. A lot of people throw away the stems. The stems have the most flavor in cilantro. Okay, so I love to use the stems. The stems keep a lot of the flavor. I'm going to take a spring onion. Okay, the green onion. Okay, let me get rid of the end here. Okay, and this I want to keep whole. Okay, so let me go ahead and start rolling this up. Okay. Pull back on it a little bit, roll. You can make them as fat as you want or as thick as you want. Let some of the onions stick out a little bit for presentation because it looks really cool when they stick out a little bit. Roll these guys up. Okay. So here's one with shrimp on it. Hopefully you can see that. I know it's a little tough. Can you zoom in on this one so they can see this actual roll here? Okay, so these don't keep very well, by the way. So I want to eat these pretty quickly. I want to serve them to my family, to my friends pretty quickly. Okay, they don't keep very well. You can wrap them in saran wrap, plastic wrap, and they will keep a little longer, but a couple of hours is all you want to do. You want to serve these pretty much fresh. When you go to a restaurant, they're not sitting in a bin somewhere. They are usually made fresh when you order them. Okay. Okay, so let's try another one here, just one more time here. And can you hand me a serving plate, please? And place it right here. Serving plate right here. Thank you. Okay, let me just put a couple out here so we can take a look at them. Here's the round one. No shrimp, just nice shrimp. So what are the varieties? Well, you will see braised or cooked pork as probably the second most popular ingredient. You will see actual fish in there, like fried fish. You will see grilled squid in there as well as one of the variations. I did mention a vegetarian variety with shrimp. I'm sorry, with mushrooms. Okay, and you could also use grilled tofu as well. There's also a beef poached in lemongrass that's very popular in central Vietnam. You will also see sausages. Okay, braised pork or sausages. There's also a salmon variety as well. That's kind of new. That's not very traditional, but it's flavorful. So that's a salmon variety. Excuse me? Are people actually making this as we're going along? Hands up for those who are making this. If you have any questions as we're going along? Okay. All right. So we have a couple of people actually making the rolls as we go along. Okay, let's try another one. I'm going to do, again, using the square paper. And this time I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and I'll show you some of the challenges for making it bigger. Not a big deal, okay? I'm going to let that soak for a minute. I'm going to use non-traditional, some cherry tomatoes, some grape tomatoes here. I'm actually quartering this. They look very, very nice in the presentation, okay? So does the red bell pepper. Gold bell pepper works very well as well. That works pretty good, gold bell pepper. Green is a little bit, how should I say, more stronger in the texture. And so it's a little bit chewier. So usually you don't see green that much in here, but the gold is very good. And so is the red. Orange is probably will work very well. I've not tried orange yet, but that works pretty good. Okay, let this guy soak here a little bit. My water is room temperature. It could be slightly warm. That's going to speed up the process a little bit. I don't want the water chilled because that will make it too, it'll have to soak too long there. I could feel the ridges going away. Okay, I could feel the ridges going away. It's getting very flexible, very easy to move, easy to, it's going to be easier to roll. Okay. Take your time with it. Don't rush it. Okay. Again, if this thing broke or cracked, just get another sheet and roll it right over it. Keep the ingredients intact. I don't need to worry about trying to take everything out and try to re-roll it. Think of it as a sushi roll. Just wrap another piece of nori around it. Okay, not a big deal. That's what they do in restaurants. Okay, they don't toss that stuff out. Okay, starting with a little lettuce again. I have some washed lettuce leaves here. Oh, by the way, so I trim the center of the lettuce leaves. I want to trim the thick membrane in here so it's a lot more pliable and easier to roll. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, so all I'm doing is just trimming one of the leaves, and I'll show them that in a second here. Okay, I've got my lettuce here. I'm going to add the carrots here. I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger. Okay. Ideally, you know, if you're serving this for your family, you're going to make them uniform in size. I'm just showing you different varieties here. Okay. Don't worry about trying to make it perfect. You want to make it so that it looks, I mean, it's very adequate in terms of having all the ingredients in it. I'm going to add my cherry tomatoes in here, my grape tomatoes in here. I think I'm going to leave out the red bells this time so I have the tomatoes in there. Okay. I'm going to use a couple of pieces of cucumber in here. Okay. They can extend out. Okay. And don't forget your noodles. Don't forget your noodles. So these are very thin rice noodles. They cook very quickly. These are dipped in boiling water, hot water for about 2 minutes. Okay, just 2 minutes. And they cook, and I don't want to overcook them. Okay, because they will get very, very pliable and fall apart. Start by bringing this together here. I'm going to add some shrimp in here. Okay, a couple of pieces of shrimp. I got my halves here. And you can make them all line up for presentation. I mean, it looks really nice when you do that. That's how they usually do it in a restaurant. So they'll use the same side to roll them. Okay, I'm gonna start rolling this. Okay, I usually don't fold my edges in. I know some demonstrations do that. I keep my edges out because I like the presentation, kind of like a sushi roll. Okay, I'm rolling this. I'm rolling it. Now at this point, I'm going to add my green onion. Let me get a piece of green onion in here. Okay, you don't have to slice it in half like I'm doing here, but I like to do that so I have a piece that's very easy to chew. Okay, but you don't have to do that. Just make sure they're fresh. Make sure they're fresh. Little piece sticking out there, little piece sticking out there. Okay, continue rolling with these guys here. Okay. Okay, and one of the ways to serve this, here it is rolled up. Okay, looks really nice. Can you zoom in on that, please? Okay, great. Okay, so one of the ways they serve this up is to actually slice this up and let it sit on the side of it on a plate. So it looks kind of like a sushi roll. And it looks kind of cool. Okay, not all restaurants will do that. Some will leave the rolls whole as well. So that looks really, can you do a front shot for that, Lori? Stand up, stand up. Let's stand up here. All right. So here we are. Can you zoom in on that just to show them what it looks like? All right. All right. So let me start with a couple of the sauces. I think we got the rolling part down. Again, just a little practice, not a big deal. Okay. If it tears, remind yourself, all I need to do is re-roll it in a second sheet of rice paper. I don't need to take it apart. Okay. Okay. So let's see. I gave you a couple of different recipes here for, here's a peanut sauce one here. We're going to have peanut butter in it. Okay. There's peanut butter in this. Okay. There is little rice vinegar, soy. Can you see that? Okay. So peanut butter, rice vinegar. Okay. I'm using a Japanese variety of rice vinegar. Okay. There's different varieties you can use for that. Okay. I'm going to use, again, soy sauce. I do have maple syrup that it says to use in recipes. I use agave. So whatever you prefer. Okay. I use agave usually because it has more of a neutral flavor to it. Okay. So here I have a little agave here. Let me get a spoon and mix this up. All right, so my peanut butter, rice vinegar, and of course you want to measure this out. I've done this many times, so I just kind of eyeball it. Here is my agave, puts a little sweetness to it. If you want to, you could also add a little Asian style chili paste, okay, to bring it up a little bit. You don't have to do that. If you are cooking for yourself, you like chili, by all means, try it. If I'm cooking for a large group of people, I usually don't do that because they may not appreciate that. Little sesame oil, according to your recipe, you have that in your recipe. Little sesame oil goes a long way. Just a little will bring a lot of flavor. So don't overdo the sesame oil. If you're not sure about a certain ingredient in terms of the taste of it, add about half what the recipe says. Try it. If you like it, add more. If you are kind of challenged by the flavor, then kind of leave it like where it is. The next time you make it, you can omit it. Okay. Okay, I can add more peanut butter to this to make it a little bit more thicker. Let me do that. Okay. Okay, so this could be made the day beforehand. I could have this in the fridge already made prior to my little gathering, house party, my entertaining party. Okay, that's about the consistency you want right there. Okay, nice, thick. Has all the flavors in it that we just mentioned. So no big deal. Again, I could make this the day before. Here's my peanut sauce there. Okay. Give this guy a little cleanse there. Get rid of my agave and my soy. Okay. So some people are really bound to the peanut sauce. The peanut sauce can be used for saute or other types of dishes as well. It can be used for grilled beef. So I encourage people to learn how to make it and to make variations of it if you can. Okay. Let's look at another traditional one. This is the nak cham, and this is made with fish sauce. Okay. A little sugar. It's in your recipe here. A little lime juice. Okay. Garlic. Okay. And something that I know you'll love is a little Thai chili here. Okay, so that's going to bring out some of the heat on it. I advise people to use one or even a half to try it out. Okay, and if it's a little too pungent or too strong, then just either you can omit it or use about half the chili. Okay, Thai chilies are a little bit, they're kind of like serranos. They're pretty pungent, so be careful with them. The red varieties are a little bit more stronger than the green varieties of Thai chili. Okay. Okay, let's start. Let's get a little warm water. Okay. I'm going to take a little sugar according to your recipe. Okay. I could substitute agave for this if you so prefer. I wouldn't use brown sugar on this though. I use something clear. Honey works well in this as well, so you can use honey. Okay. I'm going to use a little fish sauce in here. So they do have a vegetarian variety of, quote, fish sauce. It's not really a fish product, but it is made from mushrooms. So if you are vegan or vegetarian, they do have a fish sauce that is totally vegan, okay, that you can find. Okay. Okay, I'm going to add my lime juice, about half of this guy here. That's a lot of lime there. I'm going to add my garlic. The finer you chop your garlic, the more flavor you'll get out of it. If I leave it in big chunks, I will not taste it as much as if I didn't chop it real fine. You could also mash it, okay, or use a grater for your garlic, okay. The longer I let that sit, by the way, the more garlic flavor will come out. Now I'm going to take my chili, cut it into small pieces. There's no reason why you can't take half of this and then let it sit for a minute and then try it. If it's not too pungent for you, go ahead and add the second half, okay? Obviously, once you add it all, you can't take it out. So I do like this chili, so, and I know what it tastes like. So another important thing is not all chilies are created equal. How many times have you gotten a jalapeno, for you chefs out there, and tried one and you say, hey, this thing is not no stronger than a bell pepper, okay? Another time you go to the store, you get a couple of jalapenos, you come home, you go, whoa, whoa, this thing is pretty hot, okay? This thing is pretty pungent. So not all are created equal, okay? And there's different stories why that is. I won't get into that right now, but when you get chilies, you want to try one to see what level it is, and they're not always created equal, okay? So here is my nam nak sauce, okay? Nok cham sauce, okay? Yeah, so, and finally, our final one is going to be a very simple sauce, okay? This is made with, this is Lee Kum Kee style Hoisin sauce, okay? Hoisin sauce is a sweet sauce, not too different from a plum sauce. For those of you who have plum trees, we made a very nice Asian style plum sauce this year, okay? This can be made, actually hoisin can be made from plums, okay? Dark purple plums. So this is a hoisin sauce. It's sweet, it's relatively sweet for those of you who tried hoisin before, okay? And my hoisin sauce is gonna be very simple. I'm gonna add some crushed peanuts in it. This one I will add, let me rinse off my spoon here. I will add a little bit of my Asian style chili sauce in here to give just a little bit kick in there. So it kind of rounds out the sweetness. Okay. Okay. And I top that off with traditionally some crushed peanuts. And that's pretty much it. Here are my 3 different sauces. Here are my rolls. Very easy to do. I really encourage people to be creative and try different types. I also would like to see people send me an email telling me that they've used different varieties, including this white sesame roll here, okay? Which is, I've not seen this very commonly in the stores, but if you hunt around, you'll find it. More commonly are the pure rice varieties. The round ones are more common in different sizes. Start with the larger ones, okay? These come in a variety of different diameters. Start with the larger ones. I'm not sure if I have any here, but they come pretty big. So the larger ones are generally easier to roll, okay? Take a look at some YouTube videos on the rolling techniques. Not too much different than what we did here today. Yeah, the water is at room temperature again. Okay, I don't want it chilled. I want it to be room temperatures. If anything, slightly warm, tepid. So we looked at different varieties of lettuces here, and we did mention I want to take a lettuce leaf, okay, and cut out the, can I see a top view, please? I want to cut out the rigid vein in the middle, okay. I want to get rid of my rigid vein here and just use the nice leafy portion of your leaf. Fresh lettuce is great with this. Again, watercress. I could use spinach leaves. I could use a variety of different lettuces. When we were in Vietnam, they had so many fresh herbs besides basil and cilantro. There was about 20 different herbs at the markets. Some of them I have never heard before. We are close to a Vietnamese community in the South Bay of the Bay Area, San Jose area, and a lot of them can be found there. As a matter of fact, we have a home garden and we grow some of them here in our home garden. So ideally, you can find a Vietnamese store, Asian store that has these particular varieties. So, and experiment with them. Buy a small bunch and try them out. There are about 5 common ones that are sold in this country that I've seen, and about 15 other ones that I've never seen in this country before. Some of them don't even have English names. They have their Vietnamese names to them. And they may be called something different in the north and something different in the south. Vietnam has several different varieties of mint. Okay, we use a common mint here in this country. You may see regular mint or spearmint. They have a different variety of mints in Vietnam. Basil is usually basil. They may have 1 or 2 different varieties of basil. One is more pungent than others. Cilantro is, how would I grow the cilantro plant? What's it grown from? Okay, coriander seeds. That's what it's from. So a coriander seed, if I was to place it in a little soil, I'd end up with a cilantro plant. In Vietnam, they use the roots of the cilantro plant in cooking. So they use the complete plant. Usually when you buy cilantro in this country, the roots are already cut out. So you don't get a chance to try that, okay? The green onions you can use as well. You could also use chives. Chives have a nice flavor to it. Okay, you could use garlic chives. Gives a nice slightly garlic flavor, okay, as opposed to the green onions. Again, from a variety of peppers, I have the red bell pepper we use today. We talked about using the orange pepper or the golden pepper, which gives it a nice flavor as well. I've also seen them make the rolls with pork and shrimp in it. I would try one protein at a time and see if you like it. Not kind of like, don't overdo it the first couple of times. Is go ahead and make a relatively simple variety. And if you like it, go ahead and experiment. Okay, there's nothing wrong with experimenting and taking it a step further. Let's see if I could field any questions out there. Roy, can you check the chat? I don't know if you have any questions on the chat. See the chat? Yeah. Oh. Let me check if they have any questions here.
What kind of rice cakes do you recommend?
Okay, so these rice noodles here are I forget the brand because I had them stored in a Ziploc bag, but they are the very thin rice noodles. Okay, they're the very, very thin. They're probably the thinnest ones you can buy. Okay, I've seen them use the slightly thicker ones. They almost look like spaghetti. I like to use the really thin ones because they're easy to use and they cook very, very quickly. Again, I dip these in boiling water for about 5 minutes. I'm sorry, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, that was it. Took them right out, blanched them in hot water, took them right out, and rinsed them in cool water so it stops the cooking process. Otherwise, these will get all mushy and fall apart. So I definitely don't want to do that. You can use traditional cucumbers if you want. Just go ahead and take the skin off because they're not very easy to chew. So take the skin off regular cucumbers. Also, in this country, a lot of the cucumbers are covered, the skins are covered with a little wax. Don't know if you knew that or not, but they put wax under to increase the shelf life. So you definitely want to cut the skins off of the traditional cucumbers that you see here. These are the Persian cucumbers. English cucumbers work great as well because the skins are edible in English cucumbers. They're a lot bigger, of course, so I want to cut them down to size. The nice thing about English cucumbers, I can cut them to the size of my spring rolls. I could cut them to the size of my sheets. Okay, so they're ready to go. I could cut my onions the size of my sheets so they're ready to go. And it makes it a lot more easier. Okay, so when you make these for the first time, try to make about a dozen. Don't make too many. Get the hang of it. Enjoy doing it. Again, I encourage you to try different types of veggies in there. It's really a veggie thing. The pork and the shrimp is kind of like an extra afterthought. So experiment with different sauces. You don't have to try these sauces here. Try different sauces. Try something with sriracha in it. We have a sriracha type sauce here that you could make your own variety, or you could buy the store-bought sriracha, mix it again with maybe a little sweetener. You can use the Thai. Let's see if I have any out here. It's that Thai sweet sauce. You can use that as well. I've also used a different variety of vinegar here. This is a coconut vinegar, and it actually tastes pretty good with this. This variety here is from the Philippines, but this goes a long way too. This vinegar gives a nice little nutty flavor. Okay, so feel free to experiment. If I don't like peanuts, I could omit the peanuts or the peanut butter. I can use chopped almonds in there or chopped cashews. Okay, and let's see. Okay, well, that is it. I want everyone to be able to try these different varieties and have fun doing them. Again, you could try tofu variety if you wanted to. Grill your tofu first, okay, or saute it a little bit, and then cut in long strips, add it in there. I've also seen eggs in there, like scrambled eggs, thin strips of scrambled eggs. You could try that. That's very, very non-traditional, but you could try that as well. So, anyone want to share any comments with us?
I would like to. I went to, I don't know how many, and I gave up going, and I called stores trying to find the rice vermelli. And it was awful. Nobody had them. I happened to go to Safeway as just for something else, and I found them there.
Right.
I mean, I really worked at finding them.
Yeah.
But is there a place like an Asian store where you can get all of this stuff? I don't even know where there's any Asian stores or Asian markets.
What part of the area do you live in? What's your general area?
Redwood City.
Redwood City. Okay, so Ranch 99 in Foster City, Ranch 99 in Mountain View, Ranch 99 in, there's about 6 of them in the Bay Area. Okay.
RASH?
I'm sorry?
RASH?
Yeah, actually it's called 99 Ranch, RANCH. 99 Ranch, Foster City. And Tina, there's a bunch of San Jose, isn't there?
Yeah, there is one in Cupertino. There's one in Mountain View.
Right, right. Also, Marina Market, Cupertino, Marina Market in San Mateo also carry them as well. These things last a while. Don't buy a huge, like a 24 pack, but you could buy little small packs of them. But they have a long shelf life. They're dry. They have a long shelf life. So feel free to use it just a little bit as you're making these, a couple of ounces. Okay, one pack you could probably make about 20 rolls with that. Okay, they're also great in soups as well. So if I make a little too much for my rolls, I could go ahead and use it in a soup or something such as that. Okay, any other comments? Any suggestions, questions?
I have a question about noodle. When I go Asian market, I don't know what kind of noodle I supposed to buy. They do have all sort of a dry noodle. So should I get egg noodle or rice noodle for this?
For this particular dish here, you want to get rice noodles. And I don't have the packaging anymore, but it is, they come in a small packs of about 12 ounces. Okay, probably even less, about 6 ounces. And they are dried. They're very, very thin. They're a lot thinner than spaghetti. I know it's kind of hard to see there, but let me put one on a napkin here. They're very, very, very thin. Can you get a top-down view of this, Lori? You know what? If you email me too, also, I will send you the brand names and where you bought. You can see how thin these are.
Okay.
Okay, so feel free to email me.
All right.
Okay, and for more information as well. We do have, we're going to start doing, for those of you who live in the Bay Area, we will be doing some live hands-on classes. This has been the Zoom series for the past year and a half because of, well, we all know why. So we usually teach classes live. So you're welcome to attend some of our classes. They'll be with the city of Redwood City, Parks and Recs, the city of San Carlos, Parks and Recs. And we also do youth classes as well for some of the public schools and the public library. So the kids can get involved in making some of this stuff. And the kids really love to make this because it's easy to make, especially for the teens anyway. And they could try different varieties. So when I go to school, I see the kids eating lunches that are, we used to have peanut butter sandwiches. Now it's gone a long way from there. They're eating a lot more sophisticated items than I have when I was a kid. So you'll see kids having a more diverse palate and of eating a variety of things as well. Okay, well, I guess are there any other questions? Feel free to email me. And for that, we're out. Tina, do you have any closing comments, Tina?
Thank you so much, Chef Steve. We appreciate this. I can't wait to make this. We'll see you guys live.
All right.
Take care.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
thank you.